UN talks aimed at tackling global plastic pollution have been thrown into disarray after a majority of countries rejected the latest draft deal just hours before the deadline.
More than 170 nations are trying to agree the world's first legally binding treaty at the negotiations in Geneva. Our climate and science reporter Esme Stallard has been looking at the impact the deal could have.
Portsmouth Harbour. Yellow sands and aquamarine waters, perfect for a summer holiday. But, like many beaches across the UK and the world, between the grains lay fragments of plastic.
So this rope, for example, will be plastic, as we've got some tights. It looks like we've got some tights.
Breaking down smaller and smaller, there are now 200 trillion of these microplastics in our oceans, potentially affecting marine life.
What we're seeing are negative consequences at high concentrations. The smaller microplastics, they are being ingested, they've been eaten, they get into the gills, they block the gut. You see lots of different species react very negatively to that. Their condition reduces. Some are even affected in their fertility because of the chemicals that are leaching from the plastics. So depending on what species you're talking about, there are different consequences, but none of them have been good consequences.
Professor Kuthieru and her team have been working to calculate the concentration of plastics in our seas and in the lab to reveal where they are coming from.
Oh, look, that's fantastic. That piece there, a fragment of plastic that's really taken up the fluorescent dye and made it nice and bright.
It's not just plastics washing up on beaches like this that scientists are worried about, but the chemicals that are put inside them. There are an estimated 16,000 additives put into plastic, some to make them flame retardant, others to colour plastic water bottles like this.
Different groups of chemicals have different impacts on human health. So many of these chemicals are shown to be carcinogenic, so cancer-causing, or endocrine disruptors, so disrupting the delicate balance of organs and glands that secrete hormones. So practically this means, for example, early onset puberty, obesity, or issues with fertility in the long term.
This treaty could see less single-use plastics available and a ban on the toxic chemicals. But governments are also trying to get businesses, rather than households, to take on more of the burden of recycling.
I think they should bear a huge responsibility. You've got to make it easy for people to recycle, otherwise it's just going to end up in general waste.
They should either take them back or help with the recycling process, because obviously they're going to be making more packages.
Businesses could be made to standardise the designs of their products or pay a small fee towards recycling efforts, reducing the burden on local authorities.
We do need things like legislation. We do need things like this global strategy. And that gives everybody a standardisation of things to aim for. Once you have those kind of things in place, then industry and councils can pick this up and all become uniform about the way they recycle. At the moment, the fact there's so many different ways of doing it actually causes loss, and it means that we don't get as much out of our recycling as we possibly could do.
It is clear everyone knows this is an issue, but getting global agreement is tough. Until then, there is little to reduce the plastic in the seas from washing up on our beaches. Esme Stallard, BBC News.